Something astonishing has been found in the depths of Mount Ararat, a place surrounded by legends and mysteries for millennia. The experts who had access to this discovery were perplexed, and the implications of this find could forever change what we know about sacred history. Have we finally found traces of one of the most impactful accounts in the scriptures? What has been revealed challenges not only science, but also those who question the authenticity of ancient texts. Before we continue, if you are interested in hidden revelations and secrets of the Bible, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to follow the upcoming videos. Mount Ararat, a massive mountain in Turkey, has long been associated with the account of the flood and Noah's Ark. For centuries, theologians, scientists, and historians have wondered if there is indeed physical evidence of this event. Over the years, various expeditions have attempted to explore the area, but they were thwarted by the extreme weather and the difficulty of access. The snow covers much of the mountain year-round, making any excavation almost impossible. However, recently a revolutionary technology has changed this scenario. Images captured by satellites revealed a hidden anomaly beneath the ice layers. A strange shape, which did not seem to be a simple natural formation, piqued the interest of researchers. After careful analysis, it became clear that this could not be just an ordinary rock. Something was buried there, something with very precise measurements and geometrically aligned. With this data in hand, a team of specialists decided to go to the site for a detailed investigation. What they found could be one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in history. Now the question is no longer whether there is something buried under Mount Ararat, but rather what it means. If this structure is what many believe, we may be facing evidence that confirms one of the greatest accounts in the Bible. But what exactly was discovered? What the scientists found inside this formation left everyone speechless. In the next section, we will reveal the details of this investigation and how this revelation could impact the world. Throughout history, this discovery reinforced the hypothesis that this structure was not merely a shelter or a settlement forgotten by time, but something built with a much greater purpose. The team, now with a mix of astonishment and enthusiasm, decided to advance even further in the excavations. By carefully removing the sediments accumulated over the centuries, new sections of the structure began to be revealed. What they found was impressive. Narrow corridors and spacious compartments appeared before them, some with perfect partitions, suggesting an extremely well-planned architectural design. The walls preserved subtle marks, inscriptions almost erased by time. The researchers began to analyze them meticulously, trying to identify any symbolism that could provide clues about their ancient occupants. Some inscriptions, curiously, seem to follow patterns similar to Sumerian and Akkadian records, civilizations known for documenting extraordinary events on their clay tablets. However, what caught the team's attention the most were the compartments arranged in symmetrical rows. Some sections seemed designed to store large quantities of supplies, while others had the exact shape of reinforced cells. The specialists began to draw a parallel with the biblical description of Noah's Ark, which was built with multiple levels and specific divisions for each group of living beings. But the most impressive discovery was yet to come. In one of the most isolated compartments, the researchers found fossilized organic residues, which they began to analyze. If the results confirmed that these traces came from extinct species or animals that should not have been in that region, the history of humanity could be rewritten. With each new discovery, the mystery grew. If this structure was indeed the legendary vessel described in the Bible, how could it have withstood for so long? And even more intriguing, what else could be hidden under the ice and rock, waiting to be discovered? What seemed to be just a myth was now becoming an archaeological enigma of unimaginable proportions. The next step in the investigation could bring definitive answers or raise even more questions. The analysis of the samples revealed an impressive fact. The estimated age of the wood exceeded 4,800 years, coinciding with the period when many scholars suggest the Great Flood mentioned in various ancient traditions occurred. This discovery not only reinforced the possibility of being faced with something extraordinary, but also raised an intriguing question. How did this structure remain preserved for so long? Another detail caught the specialist's attention. The type of wood found was not common in that region, and seemed to have undergone an advanced treatment process to withstand extreme conditions. This finding indicated that the construction was planned to withstand a large-scale event, such as a catastrophic flood. Upon examining the fragments more closely, the scientists noticed something even more surprising. The wood displayed precise cuts, made by rudimentary but incredibly efficient tools. The parallel marks and the uniformity of the cuts showed that those responsible for the construction possessed sophisticated carpentry skills. This detail reinforced the thesis that the structure was not the result of a natural phenomenon, but rather the work of an organized and highly ingenious civilization. But the crucial question remained: could this be Noah's Ark or just an unknown vessel from a forgotten civilization? To find answers, the team intensified the exploration inside the structure. As they advanced through the narrow corridors and hidden compartments, the construction pattern became increasingly evident. The internal divisions followed a logical and well-planned scheme. Some sections were small and reinforced, while others had larger dimensions, suggesting a possible differentiation between the types of occupants. This design further intrigued the archaeologists. The small cabins seemed designed to accommodate creatures of smaller stature, while the larger spaces could have been intended for the storage of supplies or shelter for larger animals. The team also identified fossilized traces, which could be remnants of dried food or ancient feces. The presence of these materials reinforced the hypothesis that the structure could have been used to transport living beings. Small holes in the walls indicated a possible ventilation system, ensuring air circulation for those inside. Each new detail revealed reinforced the possibility that this was not just any construction. The organized configuration and the signs of planning raised an even more impressive suspicion. This vessel had been designed to withstand a long and challenging journey. But if this really was the Ark, what else might still be hidden beneath the layers of ice and stone? The team knew they were facing one of the greatest mysteries of modern archaeology. And as they delved deeper into the excavations, the next discovery promised to be even more astonishing. The small holes found along the walls revealed an impressive detail: the concern for air circulation within the structure. This discovery indicated advanced technical knowledge, suggesting that the builders understood the importance of ventilation for the survival of living beings in prolonged confinement. This element reinforced the idea that the structure was designed to withstand an extreme event and house life within it. But if this hypothesis were correct, who would have built this vessel? Could they be the remnants of a lost civilization, or, as many believed, the proof of the existence of Noah's Ark itself? While these questions lingered in the air, the team came across something even more intriguing. Among the excavations, unexpected objects began to emerge: rudimentary tools, fragments of pottery, and pieces of fabric already much degraded by time. Each item seemed to carry clues about those who inhabited or used this structure thousands of years ago. The tools, made of stone and wood, displayed a high level of manual skill. Some had precise carvings, suggesting not only functionality, but also a possible symbolic or cultural value. These pieces could have been used in the maintenance of the structure, in the collection of food, or even in the routine care of the animals. The ceramic fragments, on the other hand, contained mineral traces inside, indicating that at some point, they stored grains, dried fruits, or drinking water. The ability to preserve essential provisions reinforced the hypothesis that this structure would have housed living beings for an extended period, exactly as described in ancient accounts of the Arkansas. Another intriguing find was a piece of fabric, possibly made from natural fibers. Although its original function was uncertain, it could have been used to protect food, or even as a cover for some internal area. The presence of this material indicated that the occupants of this structure possessed advanced knowledge about survival and storage. Each object found added a new layer of mystery to the discovery. Could these artifacts be the evidence that the true Ark of Noah rested there, high on Mount Ararat? Or were they facing the remnants of a forgotten civilization, which built this structure millennia ago for a purpose still unknown? Determined to find more answers, the researchers continued exploring the site. And it was then that they made an even more impressive discovery. On the inner walls of the structure, evident marks revealed something unexpected: precise cuts and carvings that could only have been made with hand tools. These details indicated that the construction was not a natural phenomenon, but an intentional and meticulously planned work. Now more than ever, the team knew they were facing something monumental. But how far would this investigation take them? The structure found on Mount Ararat brought more questions than answers. The evidence indicated a well-planned project, far from being a natural formation or an improvised construction. The precise cuts in the wood, the strategic carvings, and the arrangement of the compartments suggested an advanced knowledge of engineering for the time, which raises an inevitable question: who could have built something so elaborate in such a remote era? The hypothesis that the structure was a vessel gained strength with the analysis of the wood and the tools used. The carvings indicated that the structure had undergone repairs, suggesting that it had been used for a long period. This detail led some experts to speculate that, if this were indeed Noah's Ark, its maintenance would have been essential to withstand the journey described in ancient texts. However, the absence of inscriptions or direct marks linking the construction to Noah sparked an intense debate. Could this structure really be the Ark mentioned in the Bible, or just a vessel from an ancient civilization, previously unknown? Some archaeologists suggested that it could have been a merchant ship, abandoned or displaced by a natural event. Others argued that it could be a shelter or warehouse, built thousands of years ago to store essential resources. The unusual location of the structure, at more than 4,000 meters above sea level, also intrigued the researchers. What would lead a construction of this magnitude to be buried so high up? Those who support the hypothesis of Noah's Ark point out that many details coincide with the biblical accounts. The dimensions of the structure, the internal organization, and the materials found seem to reinforce this connection. Moreover, carbon-14 analyses indicated that the wood was over 4,800 years old, a date that coincides with the periods when several ancient cultures mention a great flood. Even so, skeptics argue that science needs more direct evidence. Without a document, an inscription, or an artifact that clearly links the structure to Noah's story, the discovery remains shrouded in mystery. Be that as it may, this investigation brought a new perspective to one of the greatest enigmas in history. Have the researchers found the definitive proof of Noah's Ark? Or does this structure hide even deeper secrets that still need to be revealed? The answers may lie in what is still buried under the ice of Mount Ararat. And while this search continues, the world eagerly awaits to see what else can be discovered. The discovery on Mount Ararat has generated intense debate among scientists, historians, and religious leaders. The structure found, with its grand dimensions, organized compartments, and preserved wood fragments, perfectly fits the biblical description of Noah's Arkansas. However, the lack of definitive evidence keeps the question open. Is this structure really the vessel mentioned in the sacred texts, or just a remnant of an ancient civilization? For scholars connected to biblical archaeology, the location of the structure reinforces the hypothesis of the Arkansas. Mount Ararat has always been pointed out as the resting place of the vessel after the flood. Local legends for centuries have spoken of a great structure hidden in the mountain, which makes this discovery seen as a possible confirmation of a story that spans generations. On the other hand, skeptical archaeologists and scientists argue that, without a clear inscription or artifacts mentioning Noah, it is premature to claim that this structure is the legendary Arkansas. They argue that more studies are needed, using advanced technology to determine the true origin of the structure and understand if it could have been a shelter, a warehouse, or even a vessel used by ancient peoples. The carbon-14 analysis confirmed that the wood found is approximately 4,800 years old, which coincides with the estimated period for a cataclysmic event recorded by various ancient civilizations. This data strengthens the hypothesis that a flood really occurred, being remembered in different ways in various cultures around the world. But this still does not prove that the structure belongs to Noah's Arkansas. In the religious community, the reaction was immediate. Many leaders stated that this discovery reinforces the veracity of the scriptures and could be a divine sign for humanity. However, some denominations urge caution, as hasty claims could discredit the find if it is proven that the construction has no direct relation to the biblical story. While new investigations are being planned, the mystery remains. What else could be buried under the ice of Mount Ararat? Will this discovery be confirmed as one of the most important archaeological finds in history? Or will it just be another enigma without a definitive answer? Be that as it may, one thing is certain. This investigation reopens one of humanity's greatest mysteries and promises to reveal more secrets that could forever change our understanding of history. The structure discovered on Mount Ararat has reignited one of the greatest debates in archaeology and faith. If confirmed as the legendary Noah's Ark, this will be one of the most impressive discoveries in history, shedding new light on biblical narratives. But if it is just an ancient structure with no connection to the flood, it can still reveal secrets about long-lost civilizations. Science, which often stands in opposition to religious interpretations, now finds itself faced with a discovery that could unite the two worlds. If great catastrophes really happened in the past and inspired mythological accounts, this could indicate that many stories we now see as symbolic may have roots in real events. Geologists have already speculated about catastrophic floods in the ancient world, suggesting that the flood myth may be an echo of a real disaster that marked various civilizations. But not all researchers are convinced. Critics argue that without concrete evidence such as inscriptions or historical records mentioning Noah, it is premature to claim that this structure belongs to the Arkansas. Moreover, there are questions about the impartiality of the research, as part of the team has ties to biblical archaeology, which could influence the interpretation of the data. Another point raised by skeptical scientists is the possibility that the structure was displaced by geological events over the millennia, confusing its origin and purpose. Although the dating of the wood coincides with the estimated period of the flood, this alone does not confirm its identity. More studies will be necessary to determine if the construction was indeed at the location where it was found since its origin. Regardless of the final answer, the impact of this discovery is already undeniable. If confirmed as the Ark, it will be a tangible proof of one of humanity's oldest narratives. If it is just a construction of an unknown civilization, it will still open new paths for us to understand the past. While scientists and archaeologists continue their investigations, the discovery is already sparking interest worldwide. Are we facing a historical proof of a biblical event, or just another mystery of antiquity? What else could be hidden under the ice of Mount Ararat? These questions still have no answer. But one thing is certain: this discovery has forever changed the way we look at the past. The discovery on Mount Ararat raised more questions than answers. Could this structure really be Noah's Ark, preserved for millennia to be found in modern times? Or are we facing an archaeological find that, despite not being the Ark, can reveal secrets about unknown civilizations and catastrophic events of the past? For those who have faith, this could be the confirmation of one of the oldest stories in humanity. For skeptics, it is a puzzle that needs more evidence before being considered a fact. But one thing is undeniable: this discovery challenged our understanding of history and reignited interest in the mystery of the flood. As new studies are conducted, we may get closer to the truth. But until then, the question remains: if this structure is not Noah's Ark, then what else might be hidden beneath the mountains of time? waiting to be discovered?